This is One on One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One on One with Jasper Cole.
Oh, all right. Howdy, and welcome to One on One with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Mr. Jasper Cole. We are coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. I want to give a shout out to my producer extraordinaire, Mr. John Williams. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jasper. Happy birthday.
Happy belated. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
there you
right.
go. Listen to that.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
To you.
And I don't think we have to pay for that anymore.
I hope not.
Well,
Happy birthday. It was just my birthday, too.
I was going to wait and say my fellow Aquarian. Well, that lovely voice you hear, of course, is our amazing guest today. We are so thrilled to welcome Grammy-winning singer and songwriter, just a diva in the best sense, fashion icon, Miss Jody Watley.
Thanks
Hi,
for
sweetheart.
having me.
It is such an honor to have you here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having
You
me.
look as beautiful as ever,
Thank you.
Miss Diana Ross. I know Diana was always one of your favorites, too.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody loves Diana
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah, but there's a real you've always had a Diana vibe about you.
Not trying to.
No,
I
no.
think it
Organically.
Actually, my mom, it comes from the elegance comes from my mom, but certainly, and I hear it a lot. It's you should play Diana Ross in the Diana Ross.
You
story.
should.
She's had many stories.
Let's put that out
But
there.
they'll pick someone really young and fabulous, I'm sure.
Well, she has to get
Yeah.
through stages,
Yeah.
But you still look so young, and
But
you are
it's
young.
a compliment, and she loves my music too. I did have the opportunity to meet her.
Oh wow!
Many years ago, and I was at one of her concerts. She said, "Hey, I know you."
Oh my God!
And so we met at a Herb Ritts birthday party.
Herb
Herb
Ritts,
the fantastic
who you were
photographer.
photographed
Yeah,
by, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was one of the best.
The best.
And he had photographed me for the a Gap celebrity campaign. And he used to give these legendary birthday parties, and it was, who's
Everybody
who in
there,
Hollywood.
right?
Yeah, so I met her there.
Well, he was. Has he passed?
Yes.
We've lost. Okay.
Yeah, many
He was
years
sort of the male Annie Leibovitz, but before.
Yes.
I mean, just totally revered, and all the
Yes.
top models.
Yeah.
I think Cindy
Cindy
Crawford was.
Naomi Campbell,
Yeah.
Lindy Evangelista, Stephanie Seymour, all the
models, right?
The models, yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. Also, I don't know if a lot of people know. I mean, you, aside from being an amazing singer and everything, you became very much a fashion and style kind of icon back when you first started out. You had created your own style, back even probably when you were first starting out, and it just really kind of has carried through since the beginning with you.
Yeah.
You did, like you mentioned, the Gap, and you did a lot of.
I did a lot of early fashion things where it wasn't common especially for Black singers,
Right.
Or even
Singers
even
in general,
singers
right?
In general,
Right.
And the fashion community gravitated to me for quite a few fabulous editorials, early ad campaigns, and so looking back on it now, I feel very proud to have opened that
Right.
door for all of the young artists today, Rihanna and Beyonce,
Exactly.
and, Janelle Monáe, and just
Rita Ora.
Rita Ora.
She
and
really
so,
has become almost.
So it's really it used to be, well, what does music have to do with fashion?
Right.
And it really has always been
Connected.
to me a connection.
Well, we are joined by the fabulous Jody Watley. I want to let everyone know you can go to Jody's website, jodywatley.net.
Yes.
And we are so excited because Jody has reteamed, regrouped, renamed, has a new Shalimar Reloaded.
I started a new
whole new
altogether.
group.
Yes.
With
And-
Nate
yes.
Allen Smith
Yes.
and Rosero
McCoy. Yes.
who are fantastic. I was
Yeah.
watching your music video that you shot out in the Mojave Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And I
Thank
watched
you.
some interviews with you guys, and I want to know, how had you worked together before, or how did the three of you get together?
Rosero and I have been friends since '98. He's a renowned choreographer in the industry. He's done music, television, and film. And so we met when I was working on my Flower album in '98.
Okay.
And so he started touring with me, and we're the best of friends. And so fast forward to now, when I had the idea to start a new group, he auditioned. There's actually going to be another guy that fell out. He wasn't the right guy. And so Rosero said, well, and I knew because he was in a singing group as well.
Right.
And the singing thing never really,
The dance, the choreography took off.
Yeah. And so I said, well, okay, I'll try you out. And so he's been, at first he was worried that I was going to fire him after every show. And I'm like, hey, you're great. And Nate is just as hot and sweet as he can be. He's from Ohio. And we auditioned hundreds of guys, and Nate was the one. As soon as he walked in the door, I just said, I hope he can sing.
Right. It's like when actors, we were told sometimes we walk in, they think, I hope you can act or walk and talk at the same time.
Know.
You have a sense right away.
Yeah, and he dances. He did a singing and dance challenge, and that was very important because we are a vocal dance trio.
Right.
So our live concert, there's a lot of choreography. We're giving you style, and
it's a whole extravaganza.
And what better way to do something new and new energy with two hot guys?
Hello, thank you. Listen, and it's great having a choreographer who's also in the group that's a singer.
Yeah, and Rosero, he keeps us on point, and I like it because it's collaborative.
Right.
It's not me, saying, okay,
popping the whip.
This is what, and no, not at all.
Right.
We just finished a new single called Original, and they brought the beat to me, and it's like, well, what do you think? I said, I love it. It's something totally different than I would do as Jody Watley, solo artist. When we did Slow Dance, I gave that to them, and it's like, if guys don't like it, we won't do it.
Right.
So it's very much that
collaborative, and that's important for everyone to know. There's still Jody Watley, the solo artist, as well, and this is just an extension.
Yes,
it's a great extension of what you do by yourself.
Right. Yes.
So how was the Roxy? I know you guys played the 29th.
Yeah,
just last Friday,
it was the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
So it kicked off my birthday weekend. It was my dad, rest in peace. That was his birthday.
Oh, God bless him.
And thank you. And it was great. It was sold out, and you could feel the electricity and the excitement in the room. DJ Victor Duplay spun a DJ set before and set the mood, and lighting was great. Environmentology did my lighting.
Oh my goodness.
We had projections and visuals, and so it was very. It's a very modern feel that just happens to have some classic hits and new music, and some updated dance anthems in there. Do
you incorporate your hits along with the guys?
The first half of the show is Shalimar Reloaded, and then it goes to Jody Watley, and Rosero will tell you. He said that's what they came for.
Well,
it goes. A whole,
but it's a great way to introduce the new extension.
Yeah. And they love it, the whole from start to finish. And then Nate and Rosero, Shalimar Reloaded, joined me for my new single, Dancer, and it's a celebration of dance. And we're all, because we all dance. Nate dances, I dance, Rosero dances. And that night we had, people jumping on stage with us, and they were serving it. So Los Angeles,
they came out. They've showed up.
Worked that out.
Well, you have your fans probably go through generations now.
They do,
because you've had, we're the same age basically. And I was telling you earlier that I loved Looking for New Love, all your stuff. First of all, if you're just joining us, Jody Watley's here. Jody won Best New Artist in 1987 and was Grammy nominated at the same time for another.
It was
R&B,
Looking for New Love and Best Female Vocal R&B, but I already knew I was going to lose that to Aretha Franklin.
Well, hello, Miss Franklin.
She has like 5,000
just
Grammys.
To be nominated in her category. Bow down, right?
It's great. She's known me since I was a little girl.
Oh my goodness.
And so, and
Looking for New Love is your biggest of hits, right?
It is.
It went gold, and it was
platinum
and silver and magnesium and everything.
Yeah. And happy that I, was a co-writer of that. Most of my songs, people don't know I've been, co-writer to this day
That's really
and
important.
helped produce the songs, and the videos were very groundbreaking at the time.
Well, I wanted to
too.
talk about that because for our generation, us older folks, MTV and videos, there was a time back then when the video was as important as the song.
Yes.
And so much artistry went into the videos, and you particularly became one of the artists that got really known for, it's sort of like what you're saying with your shows now, being so innovative in your videos. And that's where, of course, your style was seen and your whole creativity with the dance and everything. And it's fascinating now because I used to, MTV, that's all they played.
Yeah, before it was a reality.
You know what
network.
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's hard. I love it now when artists still do their videos.
Yeah.
Like you just have the one that was shot in the desert that was so beautiful.
For Slow Dance, we went to the Mojave, Shalimar Reloaded. We went to Mojave, and Damien Sandoval, new director. It was hotter than... It was hot.
Hot
It was
as
beautiful.
hell.
It looked like, it reminded me of Star Wars or something.
Right.
Just so epic
It has
looking.
a great look to it.
And Dancer, my single, which is all about the dance, is very raw. We have some great kids. It's really more of a showcase for other dancers and not really me. I'm just being fabulous and passing
They can
through.
just,
dance
and around you.
And I love it. There's little kids in it. There's one kid that his parents drove down from Utah.
Wow.
That was his first job because they knew my music. Now he knows my music and he's a big fan. So it was very much like that. But music video, at that time was breaking through. And my thing was freestyle, not choreographed. And, I did my own styling and I just wanted to stand out. And for new artists today, it's always,
that's what's hard to...
Don't try to be like everybody.
Be
it's
yourself,
difficult,
right?
But be yourself. Because the industry, no matter what industry you're in, there's always somebody that's going to be telling
you what to
you're
change.
You're not right for this, or you're not, and change this, change it. Just be yourself. Stay you.
Stay you.
Yes.
Well, and that's what comes through because they always say the camera doesn't lie, and I loved your videos. And a lot of people don't know also, a lot of really great directors used to cut their teeth and get their beginnings on videos, and then it became commercials. But in the day, it was videos, and then you would have a lot of times some major film directors would go and do music. So I bet you worked with some really great directors.
I did. Probably most notably because he's gone on to have a great film career is David Fincher.
Oh.
David Fincher, I think he won an Oscar. He's been nominated a few times.
Yeah.
I think he won for Social Network.
And he did Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button,
A Gone Girl.
Yeah,
like he's got a whole thing. And he still
great.
does. I've actually auditioned for commercials that he still directs.
Yeah.
He's
very, very, it was great to work with him. Our video for Real Love, which is still pretty badass today. Very few, even the new girl. You got to come a long way to touch that video in particular. I always wanted to be on the runway, and I just told him,
work it.
Get me on the. I don't care how we do this. So it's just all of the videos really hold up, but that in particular is one of my favorites. But he was really great to work with, and then after working with me, of course, people know a lot of his work with Madonna. But I had him first.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting because you were when you first started and when you really hit, Madonna was in that group. Mm-hmm. Janet Jackson. Yeah, you were, and
we're very different,
Totally.
Janet is, I think everybody has adored her since she was a little girl.
Good times,
even before that, when the Jackson 5 had their TV specials.
She would come out.
She would come out and she'd do her Mae West impersonation and, the Jackson family are so beloved, but she, great choreography, really epic type. Michael, just give me 5,000 dancers and let me work it.
Yeah,
Madonna,
it's a show.
And Madonna, obviously provocative, very sexually pushing the envelope in imagery.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just a freestyle girl giving you attitude.
But you have a really great voice too, though. You've got the chops. Not that I'm not saying Madonna doesn't, but. I will say you're a much better singer than Madonna.
Thank you.
And I think even Madonna knows she's not the greatest singer in the world. You know what I mean? She puts on a great show.
Yeah, I think, definitely as a singer, I've been able to show my versatility.
Yes, you've
over
done
the
jazz.
Years. I've done jazz, from the dance music to the R&B to my roots starting in the early Shalimar and disco.
Right.
in my show I can rock it a cappella, you know, and so, you know, on Broadway I did Rizzo.
I was gonna ask you.
You know, I can sing pretty much.
Did you see Grease
anything.
live?
I did. I loved it.
Yeah, I was wondering because I knew you had done it
Yeah, I
on
loved
stage,
it.
and I
Yeah.
thought it really all worked. Also,
Yeah,
it was really.
It's one of my favorite musical
Me too.
stories. It's just, you know.
I mean, I loved the movie because I was
Me
like
too.
in high school, I think, and
Yeah.
we literally, it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show. We started
Yes.
going like every weekend and singing to the screen and stuff like
you
that.
know, the dialogue,
Yeah.
and the dances.
Yeah.
It's such a feel good movie, and they did a great job. I couldn't believe it was live.
I know.
That just from
And no one
start to
fell
finish,
down or
and It
anything.
was raining that day, and yeah,
Kenny
it
Ortega,
was
the
great.
director, is amazing.
Yeah,
He
is.
really does
He
a great.
is.
Now, are you interested in doing more Broadway, more musicals? Would you? You know
I
what
would, yeah, I would. When I did Grease at that time, that was in mid '90s. It was difficult for me. I have two children. They both one's
Right.
graduated college, one's
Congratulations.
in college now. Thank
Single
you.
mom along the way at
yeah,
you know.
been married, and divorced,
Whatever.
and everything, whatever.
That's what's in.
But
your
it
music.
was really hard for me to be away from them,
Right.
and so I
Eight
cut
shows-
my
eight shows a week?
run short because I wanted to go home. And,
It's exhausting, too.
But I loved it.
I do
And
too.
Grease was a fun show. It was like going to a high school dance every night.
Right. Were there other celebrities in that cast when you did it? Because they always had people.
They had people coming
peppered
in
in
and
and
out. Al Jarreau, Jazz
Oh.
Great,
Oh,
was
wow.
Teen Angel. And also replacing him was Chubby Checker, who was very famous in the 50s.
The Twist.
The Twist. And when he was in it as teenager, it was fun because at the end, they'd bring out the hula hoops and everybody in the audience was,
Oh,
you know,
my
hula
God.
hooping. And that was a big party. And so, and then I think also comedian Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo, who was probably
also
on Saturday
in it.
Night Live at the time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were the big draw in that
yeah.
at that time.
So
Yeah,
it was
and
great.
yeah.
It was great. And one of the guys, he was in the ensemble cast, Ty Taylor. He has a great rock band, Vintage Trouble.
I've heard of them.
And yeah, but he was
Yeah.
in no one. He
No one
probably
at that
probably.
time.
I'm sure he's proud of the fact we all come from somewhere, but
Right.
but he's great. He's so like such a rock star.
Rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're born in Chicago,
Yes.
but you moved to LA pretty young, right?
yes.
And then that's where it all started for you. Yeah.
Well, yes, it started for me probably from the day I was born. And my mom says, you know, I was always a little girl. I was a child that was making big plans. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. I'm probably, you know, getting on my parents' nerves because I'm always
Performing.
You know, I'm performing, I'm drawing, I'm planning to have my own business. And so coming to Los Angeles, I always think now it was in my destiny
destined to do it, yeah.
get out here and to go on Soul Train, and Don Cornelius, thank him and
Right.
rest in peace for him, to create such a vehicle, a great show. Not just, even if I'd never been on the show, I just think it was such a great showcase for music and
in
dance
general.
and just in general, you know.
And that show had a long run.
Yes.
And then it rebooted with Shamar Moore briefly, you know.
Right.
And so let's talk about Shalimar, the beginning, the first group. That was a huge break for you. That's really when you musically got known. And that was probably a crazy time, but it was an exciting time.
Well, after becoming a popular dancer on the show, and people have heard the story a zillion times, but Don Cornelius started Soul Train Records. They had a record, Uptown Festival, that had no group really. It was studio singers that sang it. And they needed somebody to get out there and market it. So I was one of the dancers from being so popular on the show to promote it, along with one of my dance partners at the time, Jeffrey Daniels.
Right.
And the first guy was Gary Mumford. And so he lasted probably in the lifespan of a gnat, and then he was gone. And, you know, so Gerald Brown was our actual original lead singer, in that we did a full album with him as a group, because that first single and album, it was studios. We were the faces of it,
Right.
but we didn't sing on it. So the first group that sang together was with Gerald Brown, and he was at the Roxy too. And Gerald and I,
Wow.
he's always been supportive of me. We did a single together 2 years ago called Nightlife from my Paradise release, and
Right.
it was a big hit over in the UK.
Isn't it great that you have these relationships that you maintain?
Yeah, he's, not everybody gets to go with you
No.
on your,
No.
as you know, on your life
But
journey.
it's great when you have those people.
But it's cool. And then Gerald left, and he would also, I would say about Gerald was, because I was a teenager, and though my parents knew people in show business, and I was always around show business people, Jackie Wilson
I was
was
just
my
going to say, your godfather was the amazing Jackie Wilson.
But I didn't know the business,
Right.
And Gerald was always, giving lessons, and it's like, oh, Gerald, come on, let's just have fun. But those things kind of really stuck with me.
Right.
So we laugh about it now. And so when he left of his own accord in the middle of a promotional weekend because we weren't being paid. And then
that's
he was
problem.
Replaced. He didn't quit the group. It's a misperception that he quit. He was replaced because then another guy was brought in that was willing to go for what Gerald wasn't. And that was Howard Hewitt.
It's an economic business decision.
And then we lasted with that lineup for 4 years. And then that was it. And, I, throughout my life and career, I always say, as you learn the lessons in life, to ultimately, for me, it's about being happy.
Right.
And always keeping things in a positive way and being around positive people. And so even when things were tumultuous and unpleasant and sometimes violent, I just, I removed myself from a situation that wasn't healthy, and so I'm happy. In my solo career, it's like
it all happens for a reason. But at the time we don't see it, we don't know it. And I often say to people, it's all about the journey.
Yeah.
Because as actors and performers, we always talk about when I make it.
Yeah.
And when I make it, and I'm always like, well, we're sort of making it all along the way.
All along. That's true.
Because someone said the other day, why is it like Oprah can't just stop, or this person, when is it enough, or whatever? And I always say, well, it's not about the amount of money you make or whatever.
No.
You have a passion and a love for it, and you just want to keep working.
Yeah, absolutely. I say it in my show, a passion for living and a passion for life. It is, no matter what you do, it's not about being famous or rich. There's a lot of miserable rich people.
Hello.
There's a lot of people that it just, it's not, to me, it's never about that either.
No.
And it sounds cliche, but I believe that, and I live that.
But it is amazing in this business. There's so many people that a lot of us, I've got to put myself in there. A lot of us get into a certain business like this. I don't know if we're trying to make up for something or whatever, but it's funny how many people that it's not enough. They were thinking that the fame was going to cure it, or you know what I mean? The money was going to cure it, or whatever they're trying to cure. And then you just realize one day you're taking the same until you deal with those issues.
Yeah.
It's like relationships, right?
That's true.
You're just going to keep dating the same person.
It's true. It's very true, And I think that's it, too, because growing up, I never thought I want to be famous. I always thought I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to make people happy.
Work.
I want to have my own business. It was always things that were related to the work, not
the fame.
And the fame. And I've had friends in show business, and it's the fame, and it's empty because like you said, it's never enough because it's an emptiness within that they're trying to fill by you thinking, oh, if people recognize me, I'll be happy. No.
And that happened. They're happy for that 2 hours on stage, but then there's a whole life you've got to live between action and cut, and between the lights go down and the music starts.
It's true.
It's fascinating because on that point, today with all the social media, I know on one hand, it's brilliant probably for artists now because you can self-produce, you can use YouTube, you can use social media to connect and get your music out there. But on the flip side, everybody just wants to be famous on social media. It's like like a Justin Bieber got discovered on YouTube.
Right.
And I think There's several.
It's for a few.
Carly Rae
Carly Rae
Jepsen or
Jepsen,
whatever, and they're actually talented. So it's nothing
Right.
against them, but in some ways, it's fascinating how.
I probably would have been one of those kids too.
Right.
I'm going to get myself on
YouTube.
But not to be famous. But it's true. And Rosero and I were talking about it. It's like he's a choreographer and he, works his butt off. And then you get like kids that make up a routine in their bedroom and they'll get like a gazillion
Followers.
hits and followers, and call themselves choreographers, but they're not actually choreographers. But in their mind, so it is. But for them, it's the fame of it. Oh, I have 20 million followers
on Vine or whatever for 6 seconds.
Right. And
but
so
can you really sustain?
weird. Yeah.
I saw Debbie Allen interviewed recently because she's got a big.
Amazing.
Oh my God. She's in this a lot, directing shows. But
But
she was promoting this big dance thing she has. She always has her dance academy. And she was sort of talking about that, like as someone who's been in the trenches and paid her dues or whatever. It's like me. I don't want to be like, oh, that old man criticizing, but she was just kind of saying how it would be nice if the kids that are getting their 15 minutes from that Vine would be able to sustain it and show a whole production or something.
Sure.
And maybe they will.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably there's some that will break out in that because they see like the business of it. And then some just want the instant fame of it. And, I actually love social media. I love, even though there's haters and trolls and we all deal
That's
with
what block
those,
is
for.
Hit
and you
block,
you're just blocked and you don't even buy into it or respond to it. But it does present a really wonderful opportunity to connect. Yeah.
And to get your
really
stuff
like
out
that.
there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just joining us, we are sitting with the amazing Jody Watley, who's got a new group, Shalimar Reloaded, and is still Jody Watley. And tell everyone where they can get your music, the new stuff that you have coming. It's
iTunes, Amazon, all of the digital
all the usuals.
Outlets, and you can stream it on Spotify and Pandora, and it's all there.
There's so many things, right?
And it's through my label. Slow Dance was picked up by the Spectrum Music Group, and so it's there.
It's there. It's everywhere.
We're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
And it's Jody Watley. Everything's at Jody Watley.
Everything is at Jody Watley, and then Shalimar Reloaded on Facebook. It's Shalimar Reloaded. It's Shalimar Reloaded on Twitter. And on Instagram, it's Shalimar Reloaded. Yeah, one of them is at Shalimar Music. Twitter.
Just Google Jody Watley.
Yeah, and then me is I'm Jody Watley.
I mean,
all over
it all
the place.
comes up there.
Yeah.
What's the next gig for you guys?
We are going to. I'm bringing them with me. I have 4 big shows this month, and they're my special guest. I'm doing the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Freestyle Explosion, which is pretty much a hits package, and tons of artists. And I come out and slay for 20 minutes. And I'm, because I love being with them, so they're coming with me. And then we'll have more concerts that we're announcing in conjunction with our next single, Original, for spring, summer.
Wow.
So look for that.
Everyone look for that. And
online boutique, I have T-shirts and candles and... so it's all, you go to my website. And
everything's at jodywatley.net, .net, and it's Watley.
Yes,
I kept wanting to put a
That's
W in
the British way.
You're like, no, but you lived in England, in London for
for
a while
years.
before, in between Shalimar and
and
your
that's
solo
when I did
career.
Band-Aid. Yeah. But jodywatley.net.
Now let's talk about. Are you ever going to write? You're too young to write your memoirs right now.
I'm working on it. I want to be like Maya Angelou and have many versions.
Yeah, because look at you.
Books,
You're so young still, and you've had such this
still chapters to be
rich
written.
career already.
Yeah, but it's good so far. It'll be a page turner, I can tell you.
Well, that's what we talked about. That's what gives you the longevity. Is because you went into it loving the work and not wanting the fame.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, what is your take? Do you watch any of the? Because I'm addicted to like American Idol and The Voice and. What do you think? Would you have? Well, you would have been on it.
I would have been on it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
you'd be a great guest.
I don't know why they never had me.
Put that
I
out
would have been
there.
a great mentor. Well, American Idol is going away
I
now.
know. But The Voice.
And The Voice I've actually never watched.
It's good.
Never
It's
actually,
different.
yeah,
It's good. But you
yeah.
know, they haven't had, not one of the winners has become a hit.
Yeah, well, I
It's
think
interesting.
now it's more of a show as opposed to a vehicle
It's
to
more
create.
about the judges, I think, on
Yeah,
there.
I think so, and maybe that's.
Whereas
I don't
American
know.
Idol have had so
They've-
many,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, stars, and you don't have to win to be a big star on
Exactly.
there. But I've
and
been
I think you got to
addicted.
be able to have a little bit of a hustle to you too. It's like, if you're out there, it's like film, music, modeling, whatever. It's not going to fall from the sky.
Thank
Even
you.
if you get a big break or an opportunity, you can't just sit there and say, "Okay,
There's
I just did."
there's
you
no
gotta
Lana
be-
Turner sitting
yeah.
at Schwab's up on Vine, which
gotta be on
apparently
the
never
grind.
existed
Yeah.
anyway. And that's true of any career, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a
Yeah.
little bit earlier about Dinah Ross being an influence, and you loved all different genres of music,
Mhm.
and you've been
Still do.
influenced by different
Mhm.
people. Who's any of the new, not to put you on the
Mhm,
spot, but
mhm.
any of the new talent today that you really love? Any of the new singers? I mean, Adele. Do you love it? Well,
I like Adele.
she's really a
Um,
singer, not a performer.
Yeah, I mean, great voice. I like 70 billion people bought the album.
Bless her heart.
I like gazillions cried on all the songs. It's like, oh my
I
God,
know.
it just touches my heart
Kind
so
of,
much.
yeah.
In fact, I was going to, and I didn't do it. I was going to put a little bit of Hello before my song Everything, because they both kind of emotionally connected with me. I did it when Rihanna, who I really
Rihanna's
love,
fat. Yeah.
I did a version of her song Stay. There's a video. It's the videos on YouTube, and my version
I
is
saw it.
very haunting, a little bit more. So, and I won't say
It's
soul,
a little
but
edgy.
It's,
Not, I know it's poignant, but it's got a little bit more earthiness. I don't know.
maybe a little more
earthy,
earthiness.
a little
to
more
it.
earthy. Yeah.
And it went into, and then again, it fit with, and I just did a little bit of it, and and it went into everything. But I like Rihanna. I like her because her style. A lot of my fans say that they were, she reminds them of,
Yes.
of me.
Yes.
Because musically she changes. She's not predictable.
No.
She's very unpredictable. Her style is just,
That's a big part of
it's
her
just-
too.
yeah.
And she was also very young when she
Yeah,
got started.
Yeah. And she's, I think, really, found herself. I think with me, I won't say she's not more, it's just like I've been out here. It's like self-made. It's like I've never had a machine around me,
Right.
but I've made it anyway.
Yes.
And,
in spite of.
in spite of not having the machine. And so I like her. And then I love dance music. I my favorite are things that I don't even know who it is. And always, if in my car I have satellite radio, I have to pull over and take a picture.
Take
It's
a
like,
look at-
because I don't know. Maybe they just have that one
One
song,
hit,
and
but
I love
yeah.
it. Not even a hit. It's just
That one beat.
I like that one
I'm the
beat.
same way.
Yes.
Yes.
I still love my classic rock, and I still love jazz, and I'm all over the place. I love the Robert Glasper is a new jazz artist, and he kind of combines hip hop with it. I'd love to do a collaboration, a song with him. Last year I did. There's a guy, Dame Funk, who does modern funk,
Okay.
and I am on his album. We did a song called Virtual Progression, which is kind of trippy and it's kind of 70s, but it's futuristic. It's all these different
Fusions of things.
fusions of, and I really enjoyed working with him. And French Horn Rebellion, a Canadian group. They live in New York, and just kind of fun pop
Right.
music. And so, I draw my inspirations from all over, just being alive and
Thank you.
the opportunity to do something else and not be stuck and rest upon what has already
right
been
now.
done.
Do you tend to write all the time, or is it you just
Sometimes.
it kind of just happens when
Yeah.
it happens?
Yeah.
There's no
yeah.
method to the madness.
I tried that. I tried.
Did you try to
Okay,
do like this?
I have an alert on my phone, ching, writing
Right,
time,
right.
and I would just be sitting there
and
like,
you're like, okay,
okay.
it's got to be. You got to be feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah, with my songs, the funny thing is I've written a lot of my songs, my hits and my B-sides in my car. There's something about listening to music in the car, and I don't know, maybe it keeps me from road rage. I don't know, but I get really
especially in
creative
LA,
my
right?
car.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, we all need to be listening to something.
Yeah.
Well, that's again what I said earlier. It's so great that you did write, because so many artists, especially young ones starting out, don't write, and
Right.
that gives you more control over it. And financially, it used to be. I mean, that's a whole other thing about how much
Right.
the music industry has changed. And when you're talking about the big machine, I wanted to ask you how different, what's happened with record companies in general. You know, you were there, I think, at one of the greatest times during the 90s with the record companies, and they really got behind you. But that could be a good thing and a bad thing too, right? Because
It is, because generally, like I said, you're, pushing against the grain. Like,
right.
to sell more records, you need to do more of this, and you almost have to be more formulaic. I remember one time being told, I was on a promotional tour, and it's like, look at all these people in the airport, and it's just, people watch, and it's like to get to the next level, you have to reach all of these people in this airport. And I know I would never be that girl, because I'm too eclectic. And so you have to, and some people are what they call, sell your soul or sell out or whatever, and becoming something that you're not. But you want that extra, those millions and the this and that. And I would never want it unless it was still representative
Right.
of me. So I'm really proud of
that you stuck
all
to
of
your
my music through the years. It's like, it's really, with the exception of, I think, one song, which was on my first album called Love Injection, which a lot of people always say, how come you never do Love Injection? It's like, that was the label song. They
Right.
wanted that song. The beat is great, but I just didn't like the whole, it didn't feel like me. The whole,
wasn't organic to you.
no. And everything else on the record, I co-wrote, and that one I didn't. But anyway, I think, once it started becoming more corporate, and that's a big difference in the
Right,
labels that
right.
happened after that time, more accountants and shareholders and people,
Everyone
had
has
to,
an opinion.
yeah, and they have to, the higher ups have to account to the shareholders,
Yeah.
as opposed to like a David Geffen. I didn't work with him,
Right,
but
right.
just real
Right.
music guys, Gerald Busby, who signed me, and he, rest in peace. But he had been at Casablanca. Casablanca had Donna Summer and all these great artists. So they knew about artistry and building,
As opposed to just the
as
business
opposed to
part
just
of it.
the business. And also, I don't think there's time anymore for artist development. I
No.
don't think Stevie Wonder, one of the great artists of all time, could go from Fingertips and then do A Secret Life of Plants like 20 years down the line to the masterpiece like Songs in the Key of Life.
Right, no.
He did so many. Marvin Gaye is another one. And, even though with Marvin Gaye and what's going on, that Motown they didn't want to put that record out. And it goes to show he stuck to his guns, and that's one of the greatest albums of all
Ever.
time.
Yeah.
So it just really is about sticking to your
Sticking to your
guns.
guns.
But it is a pressure, being a female artist. We need you to,
Look a certain
look
way.
a certain way. And it's like, I used to get, almost reprimanded by some of the staff. Like, people think you're weird. Like, why are you wearing those funky pants and the big
no.
shoes? And it's like, because it's cool to me.
That's
is
your
me.
style.
And, we want to bring in a stylist to work with you. I'm like, I don't need a stylist. This is me. And they would hire a stylist, and it's like, okay, but I'm not wearing that. I'm wearing this. And so
Good
then,
for you.
it's like, oh, she's being
Now
difficult.
she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Or difficult.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Bitch, difficult.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing what you
Whereas
want.
if the guy had done, when the male artist is
He's
doing
so
it, he's so
selfish.
creative.
He's so creative.
He really
yeah.
has a vision for
Right.
himself, right?
it's true.
so, and sadly,
It's
that
true.
hasn't changed.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I guess it's whatever. This is not going
Yeah.
to change. Well, everyone, remember, check out all the new music and go to jodywatley.net. And the time goes so fast. I don't know where it goes, but I wanted to say,
I'll just get, we just chat away.
thank
It was.
you. It is
great
a pleasure to
talking
meet you, and
Thank
I'd love for you to come back anytime.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan. I always was, and it's a pleasure to meet you. So everyone, give it up for Jody Watley. Check out jodywatley.net and go out and see the new group Shalimar Reloaded. And
Yeah.
it's a pleasure, my dear.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Thank
take
you.
a-
all the
Yeah.
best to you.
Oh, great! Yes.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're just going to talk hot topics and all that good stuff. You're listening to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. We'll be right back.
All right, Jasper.
Work it.
You're back. One-on-one with Jasper Cole.
All right. Welcome back. You were just listening to the amazing Jody Watley. Her new song is Dancer. That's what you guys were just listening to. It was JW, isn't she fantastic?
Yeah, she's just.
You know, I geeked out a little bit because I actually got to go in and talk to her before because I wanted to get all that, geeky fan stuff out of the way because we are actually in the same age group, and I knew that she had a birthday just the other day. And we're both Aquarians,
I think it was the first.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm the first, and I think she was the 30th.
Oh,
I think
okay.
she's just the day before because are there 31 days? I have no clue, but yeah, I mean, I could have
January 30th. Mm-hmm.
I could have talked to her for 3 hours because she has had such an amazing career, and
Right.
like we touched on, we didn't get that much into details, but Soul Train really was a huge break for her because she was only like 14 years old when she started on Soul Train, and then it led to a record deal in her whole career. So we never know where something's going to happen. And in a way, Soul Train was like a reality show.
Right.
But anyway, I wanted to tell everyone we need to thank our amazing sponsors.
We just got right into Jody.
We got right into it, but I wanted to let
waiting.
everyone know to please go on to ubnradio.com and you can go to my host page, One-on-One with Jasper Cole. You will see our 26 sponsors. Our newest one is Bentley Dog Products, and it's an amazing line of products for your animals. But we also have 25 other ones. All of us here at One-on-One with Jasper Cole are proud to announce our 25 affiliate advertisers, and they are all .coms. eFile, Interserver, ZipRecruiter, Hilton Hotels, 3-Day Blinds, Adam and Eve Toys, Bullguard, Prime Slots, Russell Stover, Booking.com, Suzanne Summers Bath and Beauty, Quest Nutrition, Sur La Table, and Extended Stay America.
Additionally, we have EUK Host, Canvas World, Cheap Air, 21st Century, Liberty Mutual, Course Smart, Advanced Auto, Fandango, Meet Mindful, Flair Play, and Jewelry.com. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors. And back to the show.
Yes, so please go on to, you can also go to my website, jaspercole.com. There's a link to UBN Radio. Please also follow us on Twitter. We are getting more and more Twitter followers at 101J Cole, and Facebook, of course, is 101 with Jasper Cole. And I want to have a shout out to my other producer, Dominic Friesen, and he lets us know that we are doing quite well in our social media percentages, and
great.
I didn't even know what that means, but we're actually
Our reach.
really, really strong on iTunes and Spreaker and Stitcher.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everyone. We started the show in July, and it's just been a great honor to come here every Wednesday and talk to you guys. And
'Cause you're so special in every way. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jasper.
well, thank you everybody for the birthday
And
wishes.
Jody.
And Jody. I want to say thank you. Yes, work it. All right. Thank you for all the birthday wishes on Facebook and on Twitter and social media, on my website. I tried to answer most of them, but I can't. So I want to say thanks to everyone. We're running out of time, but I just wanted to say I was so excited that the SAG Awards were so diversified this weekend, kind of showing the Oscars that let the actors show you how to really make an award show diversified, but because we have a voting body that's diversified. And then a big shout out to Clinton and Bernie, because they basically tied in the Iowa caucus. But I mean, I'm so thrilled as a Democrat. I would be happy with either one, but like we talked about, Bernie, I'm a little scared that he may not be able to win the general election. So let's just hope that Hillary's gonna, go forth and prosper and win the delegates on the primaries going forward. But compared to the white trash jokes on the Republican side,
The clown car.
yeah, we're doing quite well. Well, JW, it's been another great show.
Yeah, great show.
Thanks to everyone here at UBN, and this will be up on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. What else? It's everywhere.
It's all over.
It's everywhere. We will be back next week, same time, same place, and that's it. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for checking out One-on-One with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.